Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Father-Son Packers podcast, your source for Packers news, notes, and analysis. My name is Tommy, and I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, my dad, Matt. Dad, how you doing?
Doing all right. Still doing a double SoCal podcast recording today.
Yep, still doing double SoCal and covering the Packers' tight win against the Arizona Cardinals to move to 4-1-1. And with Tampa's loss to the Lions on Monday, officially the number one seed in the NFC right now. So that's kind of exciting. It's been a bit of a circuitous journey to get there. But the Packers win 27-23. Turns out if we score 27 points, we win. And that's how it works. Not at least 27, exactly 27. But so the Packers win, move to 4-1-1. Bit of a stressful game. We'll be talking all about it. What went right, what went wrong, what needs to change, what needs to keeping on. Before we get to any of that, though, just wanted to pitch a couple of things. If you like what you heard here today, subscribe, whether that's Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Leave a comment, leave a review, tell a friend, tell a random guy on the bus. Follow us on Blue Sky at Father Son Packer for updates on Packers-related news, when we put new episodes out, roster moves, injury reports, etc., etc. One-stop shop and everything Titletown. But Dad, that does it. We don't really have any Packers-related news right now, and only a couple things from the injury report from this game. And the main ones were Dontavian Wicks left the game in the second half with a calf injury, which is obviously unfortunate. No new updates on that yet. And then Quay Walker left the field at one point, but was able to return. So that is at least some good news. We'll see how his practice reports look. Any thoughts on either of those? I didn't catch anything else during the broadcast. Lucas Van Ness didn't end up playing. Brandon McManus didn't end up playing. Devontae Wyatt didn't end up playing. Kind of the guys we expected not to play going into that game. But yeah, any other thoughts on news related injury update, or should we get into the good stuff?
I'd say it's a plus that after this game, I haven't heard Zach Tom say that he blacked out.
Yeah,
can't remember it.
Blacked out in pain.
I'm
yeah,
guessing he's improving.
I was gonna say, yeah, I hope so. Fingers crossed. But I will say no news is good news on that front, I suppose. But Dad, I guess we'll just get into it. Let's start with our gut check from this game. Emotional reactions.
Oh my.
Yeah, during, before, after, in the moment. What were you emotionally feeling during this game? Because I don't know about you, I was stressed.
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I mean, the Packers trailed for more minutes in this game than the rest of the season combined, and didn't get the lead until there was only a minute 50 left in the game.
Yeah, I mean, my gut reaction was just heart attack pack. I mean, I don't think there's been a single play of the season that I was more stressed for than that 4th and 2. And I don't know, because the only other one that comes to mind is the 4th and 8 in overtime against the Cowboys. That would even be close, I think. But for some reason, I found this play much, much more stressful. After we completed it, I let out a very guttural yes, and my I could feel my heart pounding in my chest. But yeah, I mean, it was heart attack pack, cardiac pack, however you want to say it. I mean, it was a very stressful game, and just frustrating in a lot of ways too. I guess, is that fair to say?
Yeah, in some ways, where they didn't seem to be able to quite put it all together. There's just things going wrong here and there. Couldn't get momentum.
Yeah, and then we'd have a great first and second down on defense, and then it's 3rd and 23. I'll give it up. But anyway, we'll talk all about that. We got plenty of time to talk about that.
So here's the question: would you rather start with the ball in the first half and then not play as well in the second half, or have a game where you can't do anything in the first half like they did this week?
Well, I feel like, we've talked about how the defense has been bad in the second halves of games, but I feel like we haven't talked about how the offense has not been great in the first halves of games, because it does feel like it's the defense will be great in the first half and the offense will be sputtering, and then the second half the offense picks it up and then the defense can't do a whole lot. I don't know, at least that's how it feels. But Dad, let's move over to our big moments of the game, essentially the key moments of the game that felt like they were swinging stuff, either cool, they can also be cool moments, hey, it was a really cool play that happened, that's also allowed. There aren't any tight rules for this. We'll go in chronological order as we usually do, so that means I'm up first. The first big moment in the game, it felt like, was 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and at the moment it's 6-3, so very low scoring, kind of ugly game so far. Cardinals have the ball at their own 16, and it's 3rd and 23. I think Quay Walker had just gotten a sack, and so it feels we're going to get the ball back here. If we go down and score a touchdown, we'll have the lead going into the second half. And instead, Brissett just rips a 43-yard pass to Zay Jones. And we jumped off sides also. So like that, it was a free play also. And then that ends up leading to a touchdown with 7 seconds left before halftime, making it 13-3 instead of, 6-3. And we have the ball trying to make it like take the lead. And that felt like oh my goodness, is this really going to be one of the, plays in this game that like ends up turning everything? Was like, oh, we just can't do anything right. Giving up a 3rd and 23 right before the end of the half to like go down 10 going into the second half, as opposed to at worst down 3. It felt like it was like, oh, like even if we do nothing with the ball here, like at least this will be the last possession of the half and we'll go into the second half down 3 and that's not that bad. But instead you give up this massive 3rd down conversion. And oh man, I was like pulling my hair out. It was so frustrating.
Yeah. Going into that play, I was convinced they were just going to run the ball. Right. Because it was so far to go, they would just kind of bail and not take the chance of getting sacked or getting a turnover when they had 23 yards to go for first down.
Yeah. But we did get the ball back with 7 seconds left, and that takes us to your first big moment of the game.
Yeah, so mine, 7 seconds left of the first half. They had 22-yard pass to Romeo Doubs and a timeout with 1 second left to give Green Bay a chance. Because I was also like, oh, the Packers should they got no chance, 7 seconds left. They should just kneel out. No, they complete a pass over the middle, 22 yards to set up a chance for a field goal. And then Haversack hits it from 61 yards out to set a Green Bay team record, cut the lead to 1 score before half, and get some momentum. Just after, as you said, Arizona had stolen all the momentum from Green Bay with that touchdown drive, where before they got the touchdown, okay, the Packers have a chance to go back-to-back on scores, and then, that's gone out the window. It's like, no, they still squeezed one.
I wouldn't even say they stole the momentum from us, because that implies we had any momentum. I mean, we had scored 3. Momentum. Exactly. No, the momentum was just sitting there in the middle of the table. Like, anyone could have it. I would not say we had it at any point in the first half until maybe the end of that first half, where Haversack, I mean, there is a part of my brain that's like, should he just be the kicker? Because you're nailing a 61-yarder at the end of the half. I mean, that essentially, my concerns about his leg strength are gone. Like, I have no concerns about his leg strength, because that thing would have been good from like 64, 65, I think. And he hasn't missed a kick yet. I mean, fingers crossed, but like, knock on wood. But I mean, he's been fantastic. And like, McManus had been a little bit, I mean, he was great in the offseason during training camp, but he's missed, I think, 2 kicks already this year. And the operation, I mean, I get like there were problems with the blocking as well. Is a fair point. But I mean, Haversack's been really good. And there's at least like 15 to 20% of me that's like, maybe he should just be the kicker. But I doubt that happens.
No, not when they paid McManus so much.
Yeah.
But we're going into this game thinking, okay, Haversack seems to be really accurate. But I guess he doesn't have the leg strength because he's just going for like maxing out at 43 yards.
Exactly.
But every single one of his kicks is like right down the middle. He's not just making it like 10 for 10 as a Packer, but they're all going right down the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can make a 61-yarder, like I don't have concerns about the leg strength anymore.
Clearly, it's not a leg strength problem. Also, I heard somebody on the broadcast that was talking about how he's kicking a very high ball, which is maybe that's helping them not get the kicks blocked.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, this is a guy who was like about to be a substitute teacher before the Packers like signed him, and I mean, if he's not kicking for Green Bay going forward, he'll be kicking for somebody. That's for sure.
Yeah, like the Giants just.
I mean, there are going to be people calling. Let's just say that. But anyway,
is there anybody willing to trade a star defensive player for a kicker?
Let's move on to the next big moment, though. We're getting sidetracked already. We're starting to talk about the details of the game already.
Yeah. So the next one I have is with 11:43 left in the third quarter, forced fumble by Rashawn Gary. Green Bay was still trailing 13-6 after they punted on their own first possession, so they didn't get the back-to-back scores around the half, and this was also only the second stop of Arizona out of 5 possessions. And this strip sack, Green Bay recovered it, got the ball to Arizona 46, and they were able to drive down and get a touchdown to tie the game.
Yeah, this felt like the turning point in the game where like it was like, okay, Green Bay can win, because at the moment it was like, okay, they're just driving down every time, and we have like a decent drive and then we're stalling, and then a decent drive and then we're stalling, and it's like we just can't get like any kind of like spark going. And then this sets up essentially, and I remember like skeeting out that it was like, this is complementary football. Your defense goes and forces a turnover, you get the ball back, and you just immediately like march down and score a touchdown. And like that was a like really important play from the defense. And then the next big play of the game I had was probably maybe you could argue the second biggest play of the game, I would say. And that was 4th and 1. Arizona has the ball. They're up 23-20. at their own 48, so right around midfield, with 5:58 left in the fourth. And so they go for it. And if they convert it, there's a good chance that, there is a chance Green Bay doesn't get the ball at all. But if they do, there's, probably going, like, getting the ball, like, down 6, probably at least. Like, Arizona would probably get into field goal range at the very least, maybe even make it a 2-score game and really effectively end the game. But Green Bay stuffs Brissett on a QB sneak. Just no doubt about it. Never had a chance. And, just what a fantastic play from the defense there. Yeah,
and it was so clear that they didn't even need to review it. Like, he never had a chance. The line
and it was great from Wooden, especially, who had a great game. We'll talk about him later. I thought he did a really good job getting a push. Really, the whole D-line did a really good job getting a push there. But yeah, just never gave him an opening, any kind of opening for him to get through there.
I'd also like to shout out the play before, where Edgerrin Cooper makes a tackle on the sideline.
Yeah.
And is like just grabbing on for everything he can to stop
keep him 1 yard short.
Kept him 1 yard short, so they forced the fourth down.
Exactly. But anyway, what was your next big moment?
So I'm moving ahead a little bit with 2:32 left in the game. And so the Packers, this is when we talked about, it's like, yikes. They don't make, they get to what is a 2nd and 1. And they kind of blow 2 downs where they don't do anything successfully.
I don't know if we got to 2nd and 1. I think we ran it to get to 3rd and 1, if I remember correctly. I think Jacobs got out, and then we do a little flip to the boundary side. So the boundary side means essentially if you have the ball on the right hash, the shorter side of the field. And so we're running this outside stretch flip play to the short side of the field where you're not going to have as much space for the running back, and it's just dead on arrival. They never had a chance. And so that makes it 4th and 2. And this is the biggest play of the game, right?
Yeah. So they're down 3 and they decide to kick it. They're like, I don't know, you'll kick this field goal and they'll drive down and get a game-winning field goal. And apparently Love convinces LaFleur. I think, what was the word somebody used? Had disdain.
Well, yeah. Matt LaFleur said, they asked Matt LaFleur because he put the kicking unit out there. And then he takes a timeout and, they're like, okay, let's go for it, which is the right decision because essentially if you kick a field goal there, you're giving the ball back to Arizona and you're hoping for overtime. The hope is you get overtime at that point. And so I guess Matt LaFleur, they asked him after the game and he was like, yeah, I saw the look of disdain in our quarterback's eye. And, I was like, you know what, let's just go for it. And, not to be overly dramatic. Well, let's talk about what happened on the play first.
Right. Well, the idea is, they're down. Now they've blown a timeout. So they've only got 2 more clock stoppages with a 2-minute warning and 1 timeout left. So if they don't get this.
Yeah, blowing a timeout there is less than ideal, I will say.
Yeah, so that really hurt. That made this almost do or die. And so they get the so Love drops it. So they decide to pass.
Well, so what they do is first they and we're going to go a little deeper into this play because it is the play of the game. Jacobs is in the backfield, Love's in shotgun. They got 3 receivers to the left. And they motion Jacobs out and back to kind of get a man zone tell, and they don't really get a tell from that. And then they motion Golden all the way to the outside, and so Kraft is the inside receiver in the trip set, and then you can kind of tell that it's man coverage. And then Love cans the play, they switch the play, and Kraft runs a really good route in terms of running the corner route to the outside, and Love hits him under pressure, right on the sideline, and Kraft does a really good job getting his feet in bounds. But LaFleur said that was not exactly the look they were looking for on that play, apparently.
Well, it was the look that Love was looking for anyway. But I was a little nervous when he drops back and he throws it because he lofts it over there. It's oh man, this ball's going to take forever to get there.
It's perfectly placed though. When you look at it from the all 22, you can see he releases it before Kraft is even out of his break yet. And I was definitely when I saw 4th and 2 and then I saw the ball traveling downfield 15 yards downfield, I was like, why are we throwing it downfield? It's 4th and 2. Just someone get open right past the sticks. And then I saw Kraft caught it and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, because we already had images of this not working earlier in the game when it was 4th and 1.
Yeah,
and he tried to hit Dobbs in the
and he had Dobbs. I don't
just overthrew it.
He just overthrew him a little bit.
A little bit.
But then final big play of the game. So the Packers end up scoring a touchdown there. Jacob scores, and Arizona gets the ball back.
They're down 4 now.
Yes, so it's a 4-point game. But Arizona is marching the ball down the field. They're down to the Green Bay 26 with 32 seconds left, and they still have both timeouts. And they've gained 43 yards in the last 4 plays. So like they are marching the ball down the field. And Micah Parsons comes ripping around the edge, like just whooping the right tackle, and sacks Brissett for a 9-yard loss, knocks the Cardinals back, makes them use a timeout as well. And it kind of had felt like it was starting to slip away a little bit from Green Bay. Like obviously, like Arizona needs a touchdown, but it did feel like it was starting to slip away a bit. And then Micah just went and just snatched it all back.
Yeah, and before that, there was like they had like all the time they needed. There was still like 40 seconds left or something before that play. And so with that sack, and then they have to blow a timeout, and then the next play, and they
set scrambles, and then they have to blow another timeout.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean at that point it's 3rd and 11 after the scramble as well, because it's still they're also knocked
like
back 9 yards.
Seconds left too by that time by pushing them back and making them have to gain the yards again. And use up their timeouts.
And now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure it was the right tackle. I get he had 3 sacks on the day, but I am getting them kind of confused in my head now which one was which. But either way, a beautiful sack from Micah on that play. But Dad, let's move over. That was the last of our big plays. Anything else you want to say about any of those? I mean, how scared were you on the final play of the game that it was going to get caught?
I mean, the fact that it was like kind of Hail Mary.
A chase? Is it a Hail Mary if it's only 30 yards?
It's not that far, but basically threw it into a scrum.
Yeah.
So, of course, you never know what happened, but I did feel better about the probability of success on somebody actually, from either team, actually catching that ball.
Well, I felt a little stressed with how our corners had been playing, but we'll talk about that.
But at least we had tight coverage on that one because it's a mosh pit.
And it was in the back of the end zone. We knocked it back and it's out of bounds, and that was the game. But Dad, let's move over to our big picture, interesting stats, our big takeaways from this game. I have a handful. You have a handful. Do you want to start us off?
Well, as you go, you were just talking about the coverage.
Okay, well,
so let's go on.
Let's talk about the coverage because I have a couple things. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad in this game.
I have thoughts.
We talked about that 3rd and 23. It just felt like over and over and over again they were hitting that like hole shot on the sideline, just spamming it, and it happened so many different times. And like visually, you could see that clearly. Like Hobbs really struggled in this game, and I do think there is a question as to why Valentine didn't play more. Well, first, whether or not he should play more going forward, and also why he didn't play it really at all in this game. He only played 2 snaps. And that is the fewest he has played in a game, according to PFF, since week 2 of his rookie year. And Hobbs was struggling all game long. They were completely picking on him. And, you could feel watching the game on 3rd down that the coverage was bad. They were hitting those hole shots over and over again, like I said. But there are also some numbers to back it up. This is per NFL Pro. On the week, the Packers had the 3rd worst average separation allowed amongst all teams in week 7. And you might be thinking, yeah, 3rd down felt really bad. What if I told you it was... On 1st down, it was the worst on the week. They allowed over 5 yards of separation on 1st down. On 2nd down, it was 10th worst on the week. And then on 3rd down, it was actually 14th worst on the week. The problem is, even when they were in coverage, they were not making a play on the ball. So it was really, really poor. And it was especially frustrating because it felt like I said, the same play over and over again, just getting spammed on 3rd and long. And you could see Halfley. Did you see that clip of Halfley screaming in the booth?
Oh,
he was like, you could see him clearly mouthing, "God damn it!" Yes. Like as like the 3rd time we gave up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, I did. They went to him in the booth. It's like, yeah, you could see exactly what he said. I also, I don't know if I've ever seen a separation score
5 yards. I've never seen 5
yards. I've never seen that before in looking up any game or team.
Yeah, and I get that like factors like on 1st down you're going to have some like screens and stuff like that, but still, it's like I mean they were the worst on the like in the league on the week.
Right. So it's not comparing their 1st downs to everybody else's total.
Why do you think Valentine just got no run in this game?
I don't know. Maybe they were worried about his size versus like Marvin Harrison.
I mean, Marvin Harrison's big, but he's not the biggest receiver. And it's not like he's like DK Metcalf or AJ Brown. Like,
we only have to worry about DK Metcalf next week.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's not like he's like massive. He's like bigger, but he's not like one of the biggest receivers in the league. I don't think of him as being like exceptionally physical. He's a big player, but I don't know. That was shocking to me. I mean, the fewest snaps he's played since week 2 of his rookie year,
really
and Hobbs is struggling the whole game long, and you just don't make a change. That's like shocking to me, and I really hope we see a change going into this week because I mean you gotta earn your spot, and Hobbs has been poor most of the year. Like it's been pretty bad, and I get like there's some like hey he had surgery in the offseason, he's probably still working back a little bit, but we're a week 7 going into week 8 now, and I feel like you just gotta play the guy who's playing better, and I feel like Valentine's been better this year.
I also looked like there were some communication errors covering, because you had maybe I forget if it was Nixon or something. Basically, like stop following the receiver and just like wide open. And
I don't know. I
safety's not coming over in time. And then
I couldn't tell you how many times
touchdowns.
I was about to say the exact same thing. Go ahead.
And he's just wide open, and like
both of McBride's touchdowns,
and nobody,
he was wide open,
and nobody follows him, and nobody comes over to cover. It's like it was like they didn't know whose assignment it was.
Well, there was the one at the end of the first half where he's wide open on the right side, and then the one in the second half where he's running the crosser from right to left, and just no one goes with him, and he just walks into the end zone, and like Hobbs misses the tackle. I don't have a problem with Hobbs missing that tackle because tackling McBride in the open field is very difficult.
Kind of had no chance there,
yeah,
one-on-one.
That's I don't hold that against him. That I don't think there may be like one or two guys in the league who are going to make that tackle, and they'll make it half the time. But just too many coverage busts. Too many poor moments in coverage, even when you were in phase, in position, not making like a play on the ball, getting mossed. Like I think Evan Williams got mossed by Michael Wilson one time. Hobbs loses the ball on that big third and one of the long third downs. Hobbs loses the ball and another one of those hole shots. It just wasn't good. But let's talk about third down. I saw you had that written down as one of yours because you can expound on that. It was terrible third down defense, and like we were getting them in hard third and longs, and we just giving them up.
We were doing the work to get negative plays, but so the Cardinals converted 7 of 14 third down plays. They led the league on the week in yards on third down, and were second in EPA per play on third down on the week. Despite being pressured 9 times out of those 14 third down plays and sacked twice, they were still fourth of the week in third down EPA per pass.
And that's the thing. The D-line was having a good game. And like it almost didn't matter because like they were just still hitting these deep shots.
Right, and we would make the negative play on like second down and put them in bad down and distance situations that are still converting it on third. So just looking at things that were third down and 10 or more, they were 3 of 7. This would be the top 10 in third down conversions, regardless of distances.
Mm-hmm.
And they started off actually 3 of 4.
Yeah,
on more than 10 years. Two of the misses were those
driving me crazy.
The last possession of the game where they threw it to the end zone. One he threw away, and then one was the scrum in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So they start off 3 for 4 on third down conversions.
Well, I guess
when it was more than 10
scrum,
yards.
That scrum in the back of the end zone was fourth down, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. That's true. That was a fourth. That I tacked on it. So I guess that one doesn't really count in the
but spiritually it feels like a third down. Like I know what you're saying.
Yeah. That's true. That's outside of those numbers. So
at least we got to stop on. At least we held them to 0-2 on fourth down. Yes, there is that at least.
That's true. We gave up 7 of 14 on third, but 0-2 on fourth.
At least there's that. But yeah, it just wasn't good enough on third down, and it was mostly the coverage. The pass rush was getting there a lot of the time and like pressuring Brissett, but. Yeah, and credit to him, he played well. He made some good, nice throws.
On 9 of them.
Yeah,
and 9 of the 14, they converted 7 of the 14. So they converted a couple of those times they were pressured.
Yeah, and then just kind of this transitions nicely into my next thing, which is our third down offense was pretty abysmal as well. We were 3 of 10 on third down overall. We started the game 1 of 6, so like at least we kind of pulled ourselves out of a tailspin there. But like it's interesting because the Packers lead the league in third down conversion rate. And I've been listening to the Athletic Football Show and the Mina Kimes show and also NFL Live. And I was getting some interesting numbers just listening to that. So I wanted to kind of regurgitate some of that here. And so it's interesting because we're the best team in the league in third down conversion rate, like I said. But it doesn't feel great. And the Athletic Football Show had a really interesting number as to why it probably doesn't feel great. Because the Packers do lead the league, but we are currently converting 48% of our third and longs, which leads the NFL by a huge margin. So that's 3rd and 7 or longer. We are converting almost half of them, which is like probably not sustainable. On 3rd and short or medium, so like less than 7 yards, we are 24th in the league. So we are a bad third down like offense, like anything within 7 yards. And specifically, I think the big issue is we just cannot convert 3rd and short in the run game. The offensive line is not getting any push. Banks got blown up once in this game. The offensive line actually played pretty well. I'll talk about that later. But in 3rd and short run game stuff, it's just a struggle right now. On the season, we are 28th in the league in rushing success rate on 3rd and short. And it's actually kind of funny because you and I were talking about this because I was like getting so frustrated, and I think you were too, about how many times it'd be 3rd and short and we were running it out of shotgun or we were running outside. And it's weird because anecdotally, it feels like it never, ever works. But I went on FTN Fantasy because they have like numbers you can break down by different filters. And on 3rd and short from under center, our success rate is 50%, which is, it's bad. But 3rd and short out of shotgun runs, we're at 58.3% success rate. So we're actually better running on 3rd and short out of shotgun. And you might wonder, like, what about inside versus outside? Inside the tackles, this is per NFL Pro, we're at a 55.6% success rate. So that's like how often we're getting a first down. Outside the tackles, we're at 57.1%. So like we're actually better out of shotgun and better outside the tackles. But what my takeaway is not that we should be doing that more, but that we need to fix our under center inside run, game on 3rd and short because it's just not good enough. And the O-line just needs way more push in those situations, in my opinion, because you just can't get blown up on every 3rd and short.
Yeah, I mean, you look at these numbers and you say, well, the Packers are really good at converting when they pass. They need to be far. They need to have
to back up.
Need to back up so they will pass. So they should just always pass.
Yeah, but even that's not great either. But like, really, we just need to find a way to run the ball better on 3rd and short because it's just not good enough. And I think it comes down to the interior offensive line needs to block better.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the season about how we feel like they've remade the offensive line the last couple of years with this vision of a power running team. We're tired of getting stuffed at the goal line. Mm-hmm. We're tired of getting stuffed on 3rd and short. And it has made very little difference.
I would say it's just as bad as it's ever been. Like
the only thing that's actually helping this versus the
is Josh Jacobs is going crazy.
Yeah, yards after contact.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's not good, and it's why this offense feels so herky jerky at times. Is like what should be like easy conversions, like 3rd and 1. Like think about some of the other NFC teams. Like the Eagles are converting that every single time. 95% of the time with a tush push. And if they're not getting on 3rd down, they're getting it on 4th down. The Lions are probably getting that 80-90% of the time, like inside runs. We just cannot convert 3rd and short to save our lives.
Here's the question. And I think you probably would agree with the way I feel like it's 3rd and 1. Stop messing around and just do like the Kraft
tush push every time.
Every single time.
Sorry, Tucker.
Just do it.
You're going to have to do that
Just do it twice in a row. Forget all this. Handing the ball off and trying to get some speed up and momentum and open hole, just because they're actually pretty good at when they do some kind of sneak.
Yeah.
Why? Just do it. Just do it until they stop it.
And the thing is, I don't think Love is very good at sneaking. Like, I feel like he's always really awkwardly trying to find the gap. But like Kraft, like the Kraft tush push has worked. Like most of the time.
Forward and just keep doing that.
Yeah, let's stop.
Don't try to outsmart them. Don't try to trick them. Don't try to do just bulldoze. It actually seems that's the one thing where you see like the power. Blocking.
It's like the only thing that works. It's the only thing that works. What was your next big takeaway?
So for me, it's the Green Bay pass rush against the Cardinals.
I mean,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Micah had a career high in sacks. He never had a 3-sack game before,
which is kind of shocked me when I heard that.
Yeah,
but according to NFL Pro, they actually had the second highest QB pressure percentage on the week at 56.5%, just behind Indy. Which is like they were like 57, just a little bit ahead, and they're also second to the Colts in total QB pressures on the week with 26. They had the 10th best time to pressure at 2.5 seconds, which is much better than Green Bay's season average of 2.71 seconds, which is only 22nd best. So they finished much better at time to pressure than they have been over the season. They also had the second fastest get off on the week at 0.75 seconds, which is faster than their season average of 0.84, which is only 14th best on the season. They also led the whole league in the week in quick QB pressures by defenders with 17. The next closest were the Cavs and the Colts, who had 13 each. And Micah led the league with 11 pressures.
I like how you said the Cavs. You meant the Browns, but I see the Cleveland in your notes.
Yes, it's true. I saw that.
We were just watching some basketball, so it's fair.
This is what happens when you put in the city designation in abbreviated.
Yes, just autopilots. But yeah, I mean,
at least you didn't say the Pacers.
I
could have easily said the Cavs or the Pacers.
If you doubled up the NBA, it's funny that you went only one of them flipped. But yeah, no, I mean Micah was insane in this game.
Yeah, 11 pressures, led the league. 8 quick QB pressures, led the league. And Gary, he was 9th with 6 pressures and tied for 5th with 3 quick QB pressures, and Quay Walker also had 3 quick QB
He was
pressures.
really good as a blitzer in this game, I thought. I thought this was one of Quay's better games as a blitzer, and they used him a good amount in that, in that role.
He basically, decided, okay, I'm just going to...
He ran straight through the running back like 3 times.
I'm just going to tackle the running back and the QB at the same time.
And Carl Brooks had a really nice day. I think he had like 4 or 5 pressures. Wooden had a handful of pressures, and this is without Lucas Van Ness, like their third best edge rusher, and having to rotate Enigbare and Sorrell,
Wyatt either,
and Wyatt as well, exactly. So 2 of your best defensive linemen are not playing in this game, and so even with that, the fact that you were able to really dominate, with your front 4 was pretty great, and also Walker as a blitzer. But no, defensive line was really good in this game and was a big reason why we won. I mean, Micah took over 2 drives by himself. The first drive of the game, I think it was for the Cardinals, he gets a sack and forces them to a field goal. The end of the game, he gets that sack that really kind of sets them back and, allows the Packers to essentially force them to just lobbing the ball up on 4th down. I mean, the defensive line really, really put their stamp on this game.
I will give a special thank you to the Cardinals for blocking Parsons
with one guy over and over again.
Yeah,
it's we'll take that.
I'm sure the Cardinals fans are reacting to that just like we were reacting to the whole shot over and over again. It's how does this keep happening over and over and over again? Why can't you change something up?
Yeah. The next thing that I had was the play of our offensive line was pretty good outside of the 3rd and short run game. We already talked about that not being great, but overall in the run game, 9th highest yards before contact per attempt on the week. Only 8 pressures total allowed in the passing game. Middle of the pack in pressure rate, but almost 3 seconds time to pressure, which was top 10 on the week. And when Love was pressured, he actually had a really solid game under pressure, which has been a bit of a struggle so far for him this year. On the week, though, this week, he was 7th best in EPA per dropback under pressure, including the 3rd and 4th down conversions on that last drive. Both of them going to Kraft, actually. There's one on 3rd down, 3rd and 8. He steps up in the pocket and checks it down really nicely to Kraft, which was a nice play. And then obviously that 4th down, which really was the biggest play of the game. Both of those were under pressure. So Love was really good under pressure in this game. And it's interesting because he has actually struggled so far this year under pressure. And this is kind of not this tangentially related to the offensive line, but I wanted to put it in here because Mina Kimes said this on NFL Live, and I thought it was a really interesting statistic. But anyway, overall on the year, he has really struggled under pressure. He is 28th in the league in EPA per dropback under pressure this year, at least struggled statistically. I do feel anecdotally watching it doesn't feel that bad, but 28th, so bottom 6. So not great in EPA per dropback under pressure this year. And the thing is, though, we know he can do it because we've seen it the last 2 years. I mean, last year he was 18th on one leg, and the year before he was top 10. So we've seen him have good numbers under pressure before. And I do feel it's a bit of small sample size, a bit of noise, but Mina Kimes had this stat that I thought was really interesting. Love under pressure this year is currently throwing to an open player downfield, so taking away checkdowns, is currently throwing to an open player under pressure 1.9% of the time, which is by far the worst in the league. For reference, Jared Goff's at 20%. So that's what a normal number would look like. 2 out of 100 times, 1 out of 50 times that he's under pressure, he's throwing to an open guy downfield. And essentially guys just aren't getting open when he's pressured, and there's nowhere to go with the ball is really what that's saying.
We didn't get a chance to look into this, but I had the idea that these are all coverage pressures.
Maybe
people aren't getting open, and so
pressures.
He's holding onto the ball longer, and it'd be interesting to see what his time to pressure in these situations are, because he has no one to throw to.
Yeah, but he was good under pressure in this game. I also thought he did another game where he had a good game scrambling as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to, shout out the offensive line, had a good game. Love had a good game under pressure. Dad, what was your next one?
So I want to give a little shout out to the Packers run defense. As a team, this was their second best performance against the run based on PFF run defense grade on the season. To break it down into a couple of different metrics from NFL Pro, Green Bay held the Cardinals to worse than their season offensive rushing average in stuffed rate, EPA per rush yards over expected per attempt, yards before contact per attempt, yards after contact per attempt, and rushes over 10 yards. So for each one of these measurements, Arizona was worse this week than they had been over the rest of the season. The only stat where Arizona was slightly better this week was their success rate. So all this success at making Arizona run the ball worse than usual was despite stacking the box at slightly below average rate on the week in the league. So they only stacked the box at the 13. They had the 13th lowest rate of stacking the box at 18.5%, which is basically right on their season average of 18.6%, which over the whole season is second lowest on the season in the league. So they limited the running game without actually committing a bunch of players to it.
Yeah. And I thought Wooden specifically, I mean, he's my, we'll spoil it, he's my under the radar player of the game, which we'll talk about later.
What he did to that
was
center.
really good in the run game in this game, fantastic in the run game. But yeah, like you said, the run defense was really good. It's been really good all year. We talked about that going into the game. The run defense has been a real shining point for the defense so far. My last thing is unfortunately a negative, but the penalties are just driving me crazy. So in this game, 10 penalties for almost 100 yards. And I was like, it feels like we've had a lot of penalties this year. So I went and looked it up on NFLpenalties.com. And yeah, we've had a lot of penalties this year. We are currently the third most penalized team in the league in terms of penalties per game, including declined and offsetting ones. Specifically away games, where we are the most penalized team in the league. And it's small sample size. It's what is it? 3 away games. But yeah, away games we're at 10 penalties a game, and home games we're at 6-ish. But also the fourth most pre-snap penalties per game, which is that's just know what you're supposed to be doing. Please, let's stop lining up offside on offense and defense, please. Micah gets a pass for this because he's, getting so many sacks that hey, if you want to get one of those a game, I guess that's fine. But the rest of you guys, button it up a little bit. But yeah, the penalties are driving me crazy.
Yeah, and we keep giving them free play on 3rd and 23.
Exactly. Yeah.
And other such they either we get behind the sticks or we help them get short yardage situations.
I mean, it's driving me crazy. It's oh, here's your automatic first down right now. It's oh man, it's driving me crazy. But anyway, let's go to things that are more positive, Dad. Player of the game, who did you have?
It's got to be Micah Parsons.
It's got to be, right? I mean,
first career 3-sack game and just wrecked shop and had him run for his life all over the place. Even the last possession where he got only 1 sack, but he was in the backfield multiple times, forcing him to throw the ball away.
Yeah, I mean, I also had Micah because he was just a one-man wrecking crew up front. I will say my honorable mention, if I had to pick someone else, was Tucker Kraft. I mean, just over and over again, just coming up with big plays, big conversions. I mean, he's just really good. Tucker Kraft's really good at football.
Right, because he had that 4th down conversion, and his touchdown was that on 3rd down?
That one I'm not sure, but he had on the same drive that he had the 4th down conversion, he had a 3rd down conversion, a 3rd and 8 conversion. I mean, just a really good game from Tucker Kraft, who's just a really good tight end in the NFL. Dad, who was your under the radar player?
For me, it was Quay Walker. I already mentioned him once. He had 2 sacks, or 1.5 if you want to count them that way.
Yeah, sure.
3 QB pressures, 3 quick pressures, 5 total pressures, and led the team with 5 stops.
He's having a good year.
Yeah,
he's having a really good year. I've been very impressed with just very consistent this year as well.
Right, he hasn't had any dip. And there was this talk a couple weeks ago about opening up contract negotiations for extension. And,
they've been trying to get this extension done all off season. They just haven't been able to. I wonder if we're going to see it. I hope we do. I mean, he's been playing really well. He played well last year too for a good stretch of time. Maybe he just fits better in this scheme.
Yeah, and having both him and Edgerrin Cooper
and McDuffie plays well when he plays too.
I almost shouted out McDuffie because he had a good game as well.
Yeah.
He may have had one of the. He was doing.
I think he was in there on that 4th and 1 QB sneak.
Yeah, I think he was. He came around the backside and grabbed Brissett and pulled him back so he could stop driving forward.
He's one of those players, he always does the right thing. He's just a little bit athletically limited, but he's a good player too. My under the radar player though was Colby Wooden, like I said. Just really dominant in the run game. 3 stops, which is a tackle that's an unsuccessful play for the offense, according to PFF. And he also had 3 pressures in this game. Was a big part of stopping that 4th and 1 QB sneak. Just a really good game from Colby Wooden, and a loud game, too. Oh, there's Colby Wooden again. Oh, it's Colby Wooden again. It's oh, Colby Wooden, another play. Oh my goodness. He's just having a good year.
Yeah, he's come back a basically completely different player.
Yeah, I was who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, he put on weight and he's still quick. He's been getting centers to whiff on him completely.
Yeah. He got Yalta Froholt bad one time in this game. Carl Brooks also had a nice game. He had 5 pressures. He had a big pressure late as well. So the whole D-line really had a really good game. But yeah, no, I wanted to shout out Wooden because it felt like every drive there's oh, Colby Wooden again. Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that the Cardinals actually have a bad offensive line either. At least they've been doing pretty well for the season. Like Froholt, who
he's a good center.
Yeah, Wooden just totally smoked on one play.
Yeah,
has been having a good year.
Well, it's funny because Froholt turned around and just did that clap where you like clap and you're like, damn, you got me. But no, yeah, that was a good game from all those guys. Any final words you wanted to throw out there before we call it here?
Just win, baby.
Yeah, Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby, win.
We're 4-1-1, and Monday. I felt like Monday night Lions Bucks game was a win-win.
That's true.
The Lions win, and now we're in first place. And if the Lions lose,
the Lions lose. Yeah, and we get another game and a half lead in the North. But instead, we are leading the NFC right now, which is good. And I will say, like, this game didn't feel very good. It's not great that it came down to, a 4th and short against, Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals. But I will say, the Cardinals played the Colts really close last week, too, with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. So, and they've, played every single game, down to a score, which is pretty nuts. A wild run for them.
I mean, did we just face the Cardinals' best quarterback?
I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe the offense runs better when they're running the stuff for Brissett, and maybe Kyler's not as good at that kind of stuff. I don't know. But I will say, this win didn't feel great, but the Cardinals, I think, just are going to play everyone close. And ideally, we could have played them better, and we could have not stalled out as much. And I do think the play calling that's one thing. What were your thoughts on the play calling from LaFleur in this game? I felt like it was there wasn't a lot of flow to it.
It was, our success rate, I think, must not have been very high because we kept kind of stalling out. And part of it, I think, was the run game. And maybe, I remember those other plays like, oh, this is gonna be like two runs in a row with, no yards.
It was, it just felt very herky jerky. So you said, actually, I mean, our success rate was actually top 4 on the week. We had a 51% success rate overall, which is kind of crazy because I will agree, it did not feel like that at all. Our drop back success rate was 9th on the week, and our rushing success rate was 3rd on the week. We just could not, I think it was just the third downs. And we faced, like I said, we were 3 of 10 on third down and started 1 of 6. So that's probably why the offense felt so stally.
And that's probably the big difference in this week versus other weeks where we were converting a lot of third downs. Mm-hmm. And in this game, we started off really poorly on third down, and so we fell behind.
Yeah. But anyway, came out with the win, 4-1-1, leading the NFC North, leading the NFC. Good spot to be. Haven't played our best football yet. Hopefully we do at some point. But all we can do is keep riding along on the journey. Thank you again for listening. This has been the Father Son Packers podcast. Follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Blue Sky at Father Son Packer for updates on episodes and Packers related news. We'll be back later this week talking about the Packers Sunday night matchup against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, which is going to be, I think, a fun game.
They're going to be talking about that game all week, and there are so many storylines.
Oh, and we'll have them all covered for you here. But thank you again for listening, and until next time, go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.